Is it true that female examiners are more strict than the male ones? On this video, we're going to go through 10 driving test myths and we're going to discuss which ones are real, which ones are not real. So let's get into it. Now, this one I hear all the time, and that's you will fail your driving test if you drive with one hand. So there are lots of situations when you can have to drive with one hand. When you're changing gears, for instance, when you're doing other things in your car, like turning on aircon or doing something that the examiners ask you to do, for example, like a show me question, you're going to have to steer with one hand. What they're looking for on the test is that the car is under control. And what does under control mean? It means the car goes where you want it to go. If it does that, then it's under control. So that one there is a myth. A lot of people get scared of touching the curb because they've heard stories about, oh, if you touch the curb even a tiny bit, it means you failed. This is another myth. If you go on the curb a lot, or if you mount the curb with your car, then that's going to be a serious fault. Or if you go into it quite fast, or if it's going to cause some sort of damage to your car and the examiner has to intervene, then it's going to be a serious fault. But just scraping the curb a little bit with your wheels or touching it a little bit as you're parking, it's not going to be a serious fault and you won't fail for this. Unless you're continuously doing it, obviously. If you're doing it all the time during the test, then you're going to fail. But if it's once or twice and you manage to sort out the steering, it's not going to be recorded as a serious fault. It'll be recorded as a minor steering fault. And if you want to know how to pull out properly without hitting the curb, make sure you check out the other video that I made here. Now, this next one has to be a myth when you think about it. And it's that examiners can only pass a certain amount of people per day. Now, if you think about it, this doesn't really make sense, because let's imagine now a scenario where throughout the day, lots of people have driven really well and lots of people have passed, and then they're running out of people that they can pass on that day. And if someone else comes along that's really good, are they just going to make up faults as they go along? That's a myth, guys. So if you go to your test, don't go there thinking, oh, if I go there later, it means that I might fail because, you know, they've had their quota for the day for the amount of people that can pass. This is the complete myth. If you go to the test and do the test properly and you drive safely and you know the rules, you will pass. It's not going to be dependent on whether other people have passed or not. That's nothing to do with your test. Your test is your test, and how you do on your test depends on how you drive. This myth, I always say it on my comments, and it's people saying that you have to use your handbrake when you've stopped at a stop sign. This is not true. Using the handbrake is going to be better because it's going to remind you to come to a full stop, because a lot of people fail because they think they've stopped, but they've gone through the stop sign really slowly. So using the handbrake is going to help you to remember to come to a full stop, but it's not essential. So if you forget to put your handbrake on, don't stress, because you're not going to fail for not putting the handbrake on. The handbrake is just optional. And as long as you stop the car fully, that will be fine. And you're not going to get any faults for not stopping on the stop sign. Another myth that I see on my comments a lot is that you have to hold the steering wheel at 10-2 and you have to use the push and pull technique. This is another myth. Again, when it comes to steering, how you hold it is up to you. As long as you have control of the car, as long as the car goes where you want it to go, it's not going to be a fail. You can hold the steering wheel how you like and you can turn how you like. Some people prefer to do freestyling around the corner and into turns, and use sometimes maybe go across the hands a little bit to go and do some parking, or when they're parking, just do one-handed parking, because it's much easier for them to do that. And if that's easy for you to do, you can do it that way as long as the car's controlled. It's up to you how you control the car. As long as it's controlled, you will not fail for that. I recently did a video where I showed people you can come out of the car to check the positioning of your car after you've done a parallel park or a reverse bay park. And lots of people in the comments were like, no, you can't do that. You can't come out of the car on your test. If you need to check something, whether it's your positioning or whether to check something is behind the car before you reverse, you can secure the car and come out of the car. It's completely allowed. It's one of the questions on the theory test actually that asks you, what do you do if you're not sure what's behind your car when you're about to reverse? And the answer is get out and check, because that's what a normal driver will do. So remember, the driving test itself is designed to be like normal driving. So in normal driving, if you're not sure about something, you'd come out of your car and check, just like you were allowed to do in the driving test. Now, this one I hear from my learners a lot, which is that you will fail the test if someone beeps at you. This is a myth in most cases, and it depends what's going on as well. So if somebody just beeps at you because they're impatient, you're not going to fail. Remember, the examiner is there and they can see what's going on. They can see the whole situation. So if somebody just suddenly beeps at you from behind because they're impatient, then you're not going to fail for that. But if somebody beeps at you because you're about to crash into them, that's a different story altogether. So it depends on the reason. Some people think as soon as they get beeped, that's it, they failed. Which is why a lot of my learners on lessons, they panic when someone's beeping. Even if someone's miles away and they hear a horn, they're like, oh, was that for me? No, it wasn't for you. That was from someone else that was really far away. You're not going to fail just because a random person is a bit impatient and they beeped you. And this is another myth that I've seen a lot on my comments. So many people think that you have to put your handbrake on and be neutral at the traffic lights, otherwise you're going to fail. This is not true, guys. So if you are new at driving, it can be really difficult, especially if you're the first person at traffic lights, to get the car ready and then get the biting point and move off smoothly without stalling. It's quite tricky. So the best way, the easiest way to do this is to stay in gear 1 until you're ready to move, especially if you're the first car. Stay in first gear, then once the lights change to green, all you need to do then is just bring the clutch up and move without worrying about changing gears or rolling back because you've already missed out a few steps. You've already done all those steps while the light was red. If you're confident enough to go into neutral and put the handbrake on and that's the way you prefer to drive, do it that way. It's completely fine. But the idea that this is going to make you fail if you don't do it that way is not true. So do it the way you think is best, do it the way that's easiest, or do it the way that you prefer. But the easiest way is to be in first gear, ready to move off, and then that way it's much easier and more likely to pass that way. And then this one I've heard from lots of people. It's not something that I've made up, so don't come after me, guys, yeah? But a lot of people that I've taught have this idea that female driving examiners are more strict than male driving instructors. And I don't know where they got that from, because from my experience, I haven't seen any difference in terms of female driving examiners failing my learners more or making them pass more. It's usually the same depending on what the learner does. I actually passed with a female examiner when I failed before with male examiners. So that one there, for me, is a complete myth. If you go to the test and you get a female examiner and you've heard that story before about they're more strict than others, ignore that because it's not true. Just go for your test, do your best, drive safely, and you'll pass regardless of what gender the examiner is. A lot of people seem to think that you have to take your driving instructor to the driving test, and this is not true. You can actually take your own car as long as it's a car that's allowed to go on the test and it's got insurance, and you take somebody with you to go for the test. So check out this other video which shows you exactly what you need to do if you're taking your own car on your driving test and what to look out for. If you've got any other myths that you can think of that we can cover on the next video, put them in the comments below and I'll feature them on the next video. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.